Hey everybody, it's Mike from Order Flows, and welcome to tonight's video on order flow. And today I'm going to be talking again a little bit more about Delta. I'm going to talk about the Delta footprint and how it can help you see things that other traders just aren't aware of, right? And that's the beauty of order flow, is seeing things that's taking place in the market that other traders are just unaware of, and how to take advantage of it. I was going through some of the comments on the videos the last couple of days on Delta, and I love the comments. I'll probably do a video talking specifically about the comments and getting back to some of them. I did reply to some, and someone was like, hey, who's posting that comment that Delta doesn't matter? And I'm like, hey, more power to him. Let him tell that to his following, so less people are watching Delta, because for those of us that do understand Delta, do know what to look for in the Delta, it's to our benefit, because we're going to be able to take advantage of stuff that other people are just dismissing. And today in the S&Ps, today is what is it? No, September 7th, and market put in a big rally today, but there were some sell-offs that came in, and I'm going to point out a few things in the Delta that can hopefully help you in your analysis of looking at Delta. So this is a regular bid-ask footprint, right? The volume traded on the bid, the volume traded on the offer. And when we got up to our first high of the day up here around 847, 848 this morning, there was some big size up there. And if you're looking at the footprint, you could see it. Now it's a little hard to see because I got this green line. This green line is basically it's the high of the day. Okay, so I like to keep track of obviously where the high and the low is. And if you're watching that, you can see the volumes, right? If you're looking at the footprint, you can see, wow, 911, 702, finally 59. So actually, you're hitting that high. The first time trades 900, can't get past it. Next bar trades 702, can't get past it. This bar actually sells off from 30 all the way down to, was that 26 and a quarter, comes back up. Third time hits it, 59 contracts trade. So it's telling you a couple things. One, obviously, you got size up here, right? You've got 900, 700, and 60. You're looking already around 1,600 contracts that actually traded. There's probably more behind it, because what's happening is traders are coming up here, they're buying it, right, trying to take it to go higher, but there's a big offer up in here, and it's probably iceberged and hidden in. Honestly, I wasn't in front of the screen this morning at that time. I was busy with my kids' school stuff this morning, so I kind of missed it, and sort of kicking myself, because sometimes these things are so clear when you're looking at a Delta footprint, but if you're just looking at a normal order flow footprint, unless you know what to look at and can see that you're running into that size. And what is important is you keep hitting it, and the longer you're staying up there, the less is trading. 900, 702, and then just 59, and finally traders just gave up, and the market sold off. It had a nice sell-off from that. You're not going to sell it up here at 30, but once you start recognizing that this market is bumping into a high, can't take it higher, maybe you're getting short in this bar here around 26 and a half, worst case maybe 25, but it gave you a very quick move down to 19. All right, I mean, literally 2 bars. It sells off from 25 down to 19, down to 20, down to 19, down to, did hit 18, rallied back up, sort of to this lower level, and then, sold off again. But if you're looking at a normal footprint, yeah, you can see those volumes. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because if you're looking at a Delta footprint, and, I'm not saying you got to flip around your charts all day long. No, you just open up another chart and have a Delta footprint running on it, because what I'm going to talk about today is going to be very helpful in your trading. So you could see the volumes. It stands out much clearer in here. You could see the 911, the 702, right, at the high of the day. Market can't get past that. That's a clear sign that, at this point, traders have drawn a line in the sand. Now, that's not to say that, the market can sell off and then start rallying back up, build a head of steam, and go out and take it out, because it did do that. Conditions are always in a state of flux in the markets. New information comes in that's going to trade, have its effect on the trading that's taking place. But if you're looking at a Delta footprint, these volumes just really stand out. The 911, the 702, those are very big volumes at any price level. In terms of, when I say volumes, I'm talking about Delta right? The difference between the volume traded on the bid and the volume traded on the offer at that price. Because normally you're seeing, anywhere between, 25 and 100, and you'd consider anything over 100 already being on the high side. There's going to be some instances where it's 300, 169. You can see 300 here, 363 there. But when you start seeing, wow, 911, 782 at the same price, you got to start thinking, what effect does that have on the market? Okay, now a little bit later, another one of my favorite things to look for in the market in terms of delta. Now again, these are not volumes at price, these are deltas at price, the horizontal delta, the difference between the volume traded on the bid, the volume traded on the offer. So if, like you see here, right, there's 13. So that's telling me that, it's a positive 13. Now some software, it'll just have all the numbers on one side of the bar, either a positive or negative. So if it was negative, obviously it'd be negative delta, meaning there's more aggressive selling than aggressive buying. But you can see here, right, 13 right in here is telling me there was 13 more aggressive buyers than aggressive sellers at 39.28. Whereas down here it's minus 18 at 39.27 and a half. So it's telling me there was 18 more aggressive sellers than buyers at this price level. Okay, now these are price levels. Remember that it's not the bid offer, right? You could pull up a diagonal delta if you wish, but what I'm referring to is just the horizontal delta at price. Now, one of the other things that I love to look for is sort of what I call like these pockets of support or resistance. So if I'm looking at a delta bar and I see negative deltas, I know obviously there is aggressive selling, but at the same time, who is buying that? Well, you have passive buyers, that are people that are working bids that the aggressive sellers are selling into. So usually, at the bottoms of moves, at the ends of moves, you see the negative deltas. You think, well, they're selling down there. Yeah, but there was. But what you had someone absorbing it. And when I start to see, these clumps, can't think of the right word right now, the clusters, or I like to call them clumps, but like this green bar here, right? I see this area between 27 and a half down to 25 as the market starts taking off. So this market had been basically going sideways. Every time it sort of pokes down, right, it's running into passive buyers, right? There's aggressive sellers, but their selling is being absorbed by the passive buying, and the markets rally back up. Finally, you get that big bar here, right, where you got that passive buying coming in here, right, and the market rallies up with the aggressive buying, right, people lifting the offers. And sort of, on the way out, the way I like to call it, on the way out of the room, you see all this absorption in here, okay? And it's a little bit higher level than the absorption that came in here, a little bit higher than the absorption that came in here. So I have this big area of absorption, right? I like to just sort of make a mental note of it. This is like the last area that's been touched before the market moved out of that area. This is going to be an area where if the market trades back into, I want to see if there's going to be some absorption, right? You have another one right up in here, just a little bit higher up. So I have another level of absorption, and we're holding it, right? You can see we sort of came back in this bar right here, and then this bar came right down. It traded through this area, but then it stopped at this area. And this is where it gets fascinating, is because if you're looking at a normal bar chart, right, just the normal charts, and you see markets pull back to certain areas and then rally, a lot of times you're sitting there, why did the market pull back here? Well, probably because there was probably some absorption there earlier. There was nice passive buyers here willing to step in and absorb what was happening here. So if I start seeing signs of absorption right here, okay, this area right in here, absorption, a little bit higher, new higher level, absorption, a higher level, absorption, another higher level of absorption, the market trades back into it. Okay, got through the first level, but the second level is holding. Then the market starts trading up. Okay, I have a bias being formed, right? Market can continue to rally up, and it does, right? Rallies up into new highs. It just keeps going higher. I mean, today was a nice, obviously uptrending day. We closed up, near our highs of the day. We did have some sell-offs, of course. excuse me. And I'll get to that in a different video, sort of talking about some of the things you want to look for in the delta. But when a market is trending, right, you're going to see bars like this right here, bars like this. So if it's trending up, where it's just pretty much the whole bar is everyone's lifting the offers. There's not much counter trade. You're not left with much negative delta on the bid side, right? Because everyone is sort of stepping over themselves buying it, right? You can see here, right? You got the minus 29 here, the minus 7. Market is rallying up right here. Boom. Everyone's just lifting every offer in there, right? They're going, take my money, let me get long, right? Everyone's just super excited. Even the next bar, big areas in here, just all lifting offers. This bar here, lifting all the offers. And we get up here to these highs again. We pull back a little bit. Yeah, there's a little bit of selling. You make new highs. It's not uncommon to see some profit taking come into the market. But where it got really interesting was a little bit later in the day, after we made this high. Let me find it here. What time was it? Give me a sec. I'm losing track of my time here. But it was a big volume stepping into the market. Gosh, I spend all day looking at these charts here, and after a while they all look the same. But it was a big volume. Market came back to that level to hold it. Okay, I'm going into. Sorry about this. I just got to find it here. I just can't remember what time it was. I thought it was around 1:30. I think it's right in here somewhere. Yeah, here. 12:51. So market is going up, 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 up. Okay, and it's going up on just normal positive order flow. Comes into this area right after we made this high at 12:47, 39.66 and a half. Make another tick higher, another tick higher. But what was interesting is, even though these bars got negative delta, you're not really pulling off very much. But this is where it got very telling, very revealing on what the market was going to do next. As this market is going up, it's people basically lifting the offer, right? That's what happens when markets move higher. People are lifting the offer. But all of a sudden now you've got a big buyer stepping in right here at 39.65 and a half. I mean, you're sort of getting that feeling when you start to see these red bars come in, but the market's not selling off, right? It's just coming off a little bit, make a new high, doesn't even come off lower than the previous bar. Then here it comes off a little bit. And then someone lifts all this offer, right? You see the aggressive buying, right? These imbalances, a stacked and buying imbalance coming in here, makes that new high, comes off from that high, and a big buyer steps in. It's got negative delta of 462. Okay, let's just, that's 1251. Let's just go back to the normal footprint chart. And, this is why having a delta footprint open to see these things, because again, that sort of thing doesn't happen all the time. You can see the volume, it was 811 versus 349, right? So that's what's giving you that delta of 462, okay, at 39.65 and a quarter, right here. You have a new support level, right? A big buyer stepped into the market. What happens? Market makes a new high. Red bar, green bar, red bar, red bar, red bar, red bar, comes right down to 65. Okay, I mean, it gets 65 or 65 and a quarter rather right here. This level is 65 and a half actually, but 65 and a quarter. I know that I have buyers here. One, I can see I got a stacked buying imbalance. So I know I had aggressive buyers here. Now, not only did I have the aggressive buyers that were stepping in earlier, I got a big support level coming in here. Okay, I'm going to watch, one, if this stacked buying imbalance level is going to hold, and two, if this big support level is going to hold. Right now, that bid may still be there, may not be there, who knows? But I know that there was buying. Markets have a memory. When markets come back to a level, the market came right back to that level. Obviously, it held And then there were signs, right? The signs that even though you're making these highs, the market's not selling off. So there's some buying still taking place up there, even though there's some decent selling. And that was the level, right? You see the market finally reversed course and just shot straight up. I mean, if you're buying, you don't even have to say, well, I'm going to work a bid in here at 65.5, at this area in here. No, you're just dropping a buy stop up here at 69 if the market takes out this high at 68 3/4, because you're thinking, well, I got a support area here. The high of the day is right here. I am running into some bearish information up here, but I know I got this big support area. So what are you going to do, right? You want to buy support. And next thing is, if you can't buy support, you start buying it once the market starts moving away from support. And so, you just drop your buy stop in there at 69, and market, almost a 10-point move all the way up to 78 3/4. Right? And what happened next, right? The market came off from 78 3/4, came off back down to that area, right? Where you had this stacked buying imbalance and that big volume there. So, just highlight the imbalance, right? So it's between, 65.5 and 64.25. Market went up, market came back where? Right to that level. And you can see in here, there's still passive buying. All right, the minus 182, the minus 76, the minus 46. It's all negative delta. Even in here, market went up a little bit, came back in, minus 122, minus 179, or sorry, minus 79. And boom, market went back up to the highs. So, hopefully you guys can appreciate the value of delta. And it's not just using delta by itself. I mean, you can see how using delta, that came right after the stacked imbalances. It tells you really that there's interest at this level. Okay. And, honestly, I get a kick out of these guys, that post stuff on FinTwit. Well, you don't need 8 monitors. No, you don't really need 8 monitors, but there's nothing wrong with having a couple of monitors on your desk. If you got one that's, a candlestick chart and one that's running a footprint chart, one that's running a delta chart, it just gives you different perspectives on the market, right? You're not going to use the delta chart trying to analyze every tick, but if you're going to see something like this come in, or what I showed you earlier, when you're at that earlier high of the day with the heavy volume, then it's worth it, all right? I mean, yeah, let people make fun of me for having, a few monitors on there, because it's going to help me pick up 1 or 2 of these trades a day that can make the big difference in, your trading results. So again, everybody, thanks for taking the time out to watch this video. Be sure to like and subscribe my channel. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and keep the comments coming. It's probably going to do a video on the comments. So, watch what you write. If I may choose it to be in a video. So, all right, guys, have a great day, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.